Hello and welcome back. This is Grillenheimer. And basically this is just a quick video and to let you know something about our okay, now I'm not in the sun. Now I'm in the shadows. That's a little better. About, our sexuality, and sometimes you need to just accept who you are and what you are. And I think there's a lot of people that are in denial because of the political arena of the attack on men in our country, alpha males, etc., being masculine. And it's just been full force for about 20 years or plus. And trust me, I've been around. I understand what's going on, and you should not feel guilt for what you are. I was taking a shower this morning, and was washing myself, and getting a little weird here, and realized, hey, I might as well be touching my dad or my grandfather or any of my ancestors, because they're all men and I am a man. I've got the same stuff they have. Same thing. I might as well be touching a friend or best friend or whoever. It doesn't matter. We're all guys. And I slowly started to realize, and I've had this realization more than a few times, how you might as well be, a guy's a guy. And I've mentioned this in some of my really older videos. You really have to dig through the relationship videos in my playlist about change, and you will hear this off and on about how we can change our mindset. We don't need to be in denial of ourselves, because I knew a friend who he ended up being homosexual, or thinking he was. He wanted to be a cat. He thought he was a cat. He acted like a cat. Well, let me tell you something. When I was about 10 or 12, I loved raccoons, or actually since about 8, during my surgeries. And so I got a raccoon hand puppet and just fell in love with it. And raccoons. And we had that lake house, like I've mentioned before, where all our boats were. How I was just obsessed with raccoons, and I came up with a character. His book will be coming soon, I hope, one day. And I wanted to be a raccoon. I wanted to act like I wanted to, and I really didn't let anybody know this, as much as like one of my friends from elementary school who wanted to be a cat and acted like a cat, and we're all like, dude, grow up. But I even remember praying to be turned into a raccoon, of all things. Of course, I'm not going to wake up and turn into a raccoon. I'm a guy. I'm a human, and whatnot. Oh, that's my shadow. Okay, I'm at an almost empty church with people walking around. This is not my church. I'm not sure where I am, but they're walking outside for exercise, and so there's that. And you can try to think you feel like a lamppost, does not make you a lamppost. If you're a guy and you think you feel like a girl, you don't know what a girl feels like. I'm sorry. We can't change our chromosomes. We can't change our physical being unless you have surgery and have things mutely changed, which is just wrong. No matter how much you play around with estrogen or testosterone, you still are what you are. And a lot of people don't like hearing that, because then they feel like they're attacked, they're being offended, because it's just the simple truth. I'm not Jason or Dave from Blue Collar Logic, but it is the simple truth. There are two sexes, and it's not a spectrum. It's not about how you feel. It's about what you are, who you are, and what you look like. Whatever you got down there is what you are. I hate to tell you. And you just don't live in denial of yourself. And at the same time, don't love yourself so much that you want to please every facet of your life, whether it's games and putting all your passion into games, or all your passion into things, or all your passion into wanting things that other people have that can lead to theft, or all your passion into other people's girlfriends or boyfriends. It's the same thing in sexual desires and lust and pleasing yourself over something like that. It's all very selfish. It's all very self-centered. And that is the danger of sin, because if you don't grow up in a parochial or a church lifestyle, which I didn't, I really didn't, you don't understand that this stuff is sin. It's all part of the original 10 commandments that we still really need to apply to our lives, because they're very basic, and they are part of how we can live day to day and make certain decisions. Well, when I was in the shower and thinking about all this, and I'm thinking, wow, about attractions, and I start realizing, and my mind started slipping a little bit, or started that way, and I'm thinking, no. And I started thinking, I think it's Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. But I kind of don't keep going. I just think of, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want this sin that I'm experiencing. I don't want it. These thoughts, and I fight it. And next thing I know, I'm just like, for lack of a better term, normal. I realize I'm a guy, there's other guys. I don't like guys. I'm married, I have kids. And had I actually, and that was another thought that came through all this, if I so loved myself and fed that desire to love someone that also looked like me, then what would have happened to my seed? I would not have had kids. I would not have fallen in love and accepted the love of my wife for us to get married. That's very important. And sex with the opposite sex is very fun, is good, it's meant to be. Because and I've said this on an older video as well, is that, if you are trying to make out with the same sex, no matter which one you are, what are you still trying to do? You are still trying to self-pleasure yourself with somebody else that's the same sex, and y'all are both having to mimic what real sex is between a man and a woman. Think about that. Think about that for a second. And then and I've probably triggered you, and I've probably offended you. I probably offended you 5 minutes ago. You probably haven't even gotten this far yet. But think about that. It is a sin. It is wrong. If you feel raped or vilified, even when it's sometimes consensual, you got to realize at some point something about this is wrong. And maybe I shouldn't be doing this. What is missing in my heart? What is missing in my soul? If you've come to that far of a point or beyond that, there is still hope for you. You have to reach out to Jesus. You have to search the Word. You still have to search the truth. And there are a lot of people in that realm, in that lifestyle, that think it is okay. Love is love, etc., etc. And this is my opinion, but I feel like they're deluding themselves, just like a lot of other people delude themselves into thinking certain behavior and certain actions are okay, because we have numbed ourselves throughout the decades or centuries into making certain behaviors okay because it, quote unquote, doesn't hurt anybody. Oh, I may have stolen this person's something because I really wanted it, but it doesn't hurt anybody. Is that person still okay? Yeah, I stole their stuff, but it didn't hurt them, did it? Maybe emotionally. You don't know that. And there's some videos out there about how trying to go after that question, trying to explain that question, how same-sex attraction and those kind of issues, how those lifestyles have hurt us. It's being inundated by us in our TVs, in our comics, in our books, in our movies. It's being almost forced upon us. I ended up accidentally learning about some of this stuff in a magazine ripped up on our street, my friend and I. And we're like, whoa. And it was actually a girls' magazine. It was a girls' porn magazine. So it was full of naked guys. And we're like, whoa, we can look like that. We can be that big. Well, that stuff was probably even photoshopped or, somewhat not real even back then, which was probably in the 70s or early 80s. I can't remember which. And seeing that stuff affected me because I didn't used to have those kind of thoughts until we saw some of those magazines. This stuff can really affect you. It can really affect your mental state. And if we're using some semblance of, I'll just say, soft porn, whether it's Steven Universe, because them merging is like akin to sex. I should have never let my kids watch that show, even though it's like we couldn't stop them, or that affected them. And now they're using a few of those characters on Cartoon Network on commercials to show how love is love for kids that are probably 6 to 9 years old, guys. And everything on Netflix that is created by Netflix has this stuff in there. There always has to be a person of a certain kind of type. It's scary. This stuff shouldn't be, and it's not normal. And if I know that, and if I can reach out and keep my sin and my temptations at bay, which isn't easy. Being yourself isn't easy. Being in denial is easier. Deluding yourself is easier. Calling other people names because you think they are judging you based on your overt behavior, etc., is easy. Because you can hate them back. Oh, they call me a name, I'm going to call them a name. It's just easy to fall into that trap of hate. And I think that's how a lot of Christians, how we try to reach out to this community of lifestyle and try to show them true love. And that's what we need to be doing. And that's the thing, is that there was something, I got to wrap this up, where